Okay, just tell me if I'm live.
All right, you're live.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel for Gaming with CJ. Now, much of stuff has been busy for me because I'm doing wrestling in real life, watching wrestling, etc. Now, this podcast is simply this. We're going to be talking about WWE. We're going to be talking about e-fetting. We're going to be talking about anything that pertains to wrestling in general. And with me is a special guest, one of my good friends in the e-fed business, none other than Iceman 3000. Iceman, you want to break the floor with us and let us know what's happening on your end with ISCW?
Well, we got a pay per view coming up, which is Extreme Rumble, which we're going to be on the road to Violence Mania 4, which is going to be taking place in a location of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Now, another thing I want to make known to the fans of this channel that is going to be awesome. We have not only podcasts to come with Iceman, Brofsky. I'm even going to bring in some big names that's in the wrestling business, maybe for a short little podcast, short little interview talk here on this channel. So, going to be interesting to see who I bring in. Now, we get back to the e-fetting business. Now, some of you guys know that the e-fetting business is actually good, depending on if you have good people in it. Now, as of me and Iceman can tell you that we know personally that wanted to be part of us, but now they just basically turned their back on us because they wanted to be this toxic, be part of the toxic group that's we no longer associate with. I've learned a long time ago you can't make people drink the water that they don't want to drink. So you got to be cautious on who you affiliate yourself with. Good people can be bad people, can be with bad people and end up being bad themselves because of one wrong move. Just saying. Now, going back to the e-fed business with, NWF, ONW, ISCW, ever since we did this partnership, we lost some companies that did not want to be a part of this train, which is good because we're moving forward. We're not moving back. We're not going to sit here and talk about people. I've learned a long time ago that sometimes you got to grow up and realize that you're going to have haters and you're going to have people that just wants to see you fail sometimes in life. And that's okay because at the beginning of this channel that I started with 50 subs, now it's already up to 1,300 and something. I think 60 or 70 now. But going back to what we talked about with the e-fed business is you got to watch who you put in your business because there's some people in this business that we call the e-fed business that is toxic. Like I said, they will try to make, especially if they have their own companies, they will basically come in, be a part of your show, and literally try to tear you apart. In other words, pick you piece by piece. Just telling the absolute honest truth. I've known some people that does that, and it's wrong, disrespectful, and downgrading, and shows a lot of unprofessionalism in that. And I'm just gonna put it in that term because there's a lot of people that get jealous over somebody's success. And that's 100% true facts. I mean, I'm probably going to get hated for this because I said this on my channel, but the truth's the truth. And as our truth would say, Ron Killens, the truth has set you free. And no, we ain't talking about little Jimmy's, folks. As far as that goes, moving from the topic of the eFed business, we're going to move the topic over to what's happening in WWE right now. John Cena's 17-time World Championship win. I would say probably the historic, if I could say that myself, being the first man to win 17-time champions in WWE, beating the GOAT, Ric Flair's record. Iceman, what's your thoughts about John Cena beating Ric Flair's record?
Well, it's a historical moment in John Cena's career. He's now the GOAT, and he's on his way to becoming a future Hall of Famer.
Well, here's the thing, too, that not only he beat Ric Flair's record, but you got some people that really hated that Cody Rhodes dropped his title at Mania to Cena, which, you know, we all knew it was going to happen because every time Cody Rhodes stepped in the ring with Cena, it was a loss. I mean, we already knew it was going to happen. So the question is, do you viewers out there that are watching, do you think Cody should retain that Mania, or do you think he should lost the belt and gave John Cena the 17-time reign? And here's a couple of things I'm going to throw in that about that title reign. After Cody beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, a year later, coming to WrestleMania 41, Cody losing the title to Cena. Cena breaks the 17-time World Championship record. And Iceman, this actually goes to your question too. I mean, if you're Ric Flair, knowing that your title record got beat, how do you actually respond, knowing that part of your success is now over to somebody that's basically passing the torch to somebody else, knowing that your 16-time record is gone out of the history books to John Cena?
Well, if I was Ric Flair, I would say the man deserved to break my record, and I would say with respect, I'm passing the torch to Cena.
Now going back to the eFed topics here. Now we saw what happened on ONW with you being the legendary champion, Iceman. How do you feel carrying ONW to greater heights and making that company irrelevant? To making it like Mondo made it, like Gangster, and the ones that's held that title to make it the best show, a part of the network.
Well, it's a great accomplishment. I got to say that. And another thing, it proves that O&W is one of the top tier companies in the eFed business.
Now, I just saw your opponent on NWF side, Chris Clark. Chris Clark I heard him talking backstage, Iceman, and said that he thinks he could beat you for the NWF title. What are your thoughts about that?
Chris Clark, you're nothing more than a connect board jobber. Because you never beat me for a world championship. And Chris, I hope you know by now that I'm an 8-time world champion in NWF. Something you would never do. So you can stay and you can go back to hitting your contact bar job, your contact bars, and stay on the express lane.
Now the question is, Iceman, going back to the question, Chris Clark said in the locker room of NWF that when he wins this year's Rumble, he says that he's going after you at Mondo Mania. Now, what's your thoughts about that?
Oh, come after me at Mondo Mania. Yeah. Like that's gonna ever happen. So, Chris, you can keep your dreams to yourself because that's not gonna really happen. I don't see you winning that Rumble and facing me at Mondo Mania.
Now, as far as the NWF Championship goes here on this podcast, you got anything to say to your two challengers you're facing in a triple threat match, Gangster and Primetime Sean Sanders?
See, Gangster and Prime Shine Sean Sanders. Y'all both think y'all can beat me for my title? Well, I've already beaten one of you to take the title, and is and 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 the other I've beaten you in the past as well. So that makes you two some Fruit Loop Oompa Loops in my book. So I'm gonna go in that match pay per view. I'm gonna go in and beat the both of you and walk out still the NWF champion.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the ONW Legendary Champion Iceman and NWF Champion Iceman. The question is, who am I going to bring on the part 2 of the podcast? Stay tuned as we will call this one for today. Short and sweet, but also be prepared, take notes, and rewrite history.